I mean, well, since the last meeting, I just want to go over a couple of things. We had, I just off the top of my head, we had the extreme registration the day after on Thursday, the 11th, and it went, 752 registrations, and I think it was over within 4 minutes, but we never filled. We had one week that had like 125 kids, so we just took them all. That is the week of, just double check this. Week 7, which is the Top Golf, which is one of the kids that told me about just before. So that's the last week of August. Well, first week of August, which is usually a very slow week for us for vacations. So we might be destroying the last week of sailing and swim team. Because that's usually the week that they do all their stuff, so maybe they'll move them. But that's got 125 kids. We got plenty of room on the buses, but we have a couple of weeks that only have 60 kids. But we're just going to leave it at that. That could be the new vacation week. So the extra week we added on August 12th and the week of July 29th. So that might be the more of a vacation week, it looks like. They both have 60 kids, but all the rest of the weeks have 90 plus, anywhere from 92 to 98. So, great registration, 725. We can probably take another 15, 20. I don't want to go over too much more for the week, those 2 slow weeks, because it's just easy to get them on one bus. And the cost, the profit margins really sinks when we're in that mid-range. So we had that registration go. Job applications are posted. They're coming through the town system, so we really don't see them until they send them to us. But 50-50 new kids and returning staff. We had 7 psychologists apply so far, but Linda, Allison and I will go through them real quick and go over with them HR. But Linda Nathan has applied again, and she's been with us for 2 or 3 years now. Only one school nurse so far, and it's an out of district teacher, nurse. So none of the school nurses everybody else wants to really work. They'll fill in, like Michaela and Kristen, but not on a regular schedule. So I'll try to interview that one in the out of district. She's from Holbrook area. So I'll reach out to her. As you know, we promoted the program with a plan for Osgood and Dare Hill being down. Tim, I forwarded an email actually Tim was on it. We asked Brian Joyce last week what's going on, just so we know. It does make a difference for our staffing, because if we have 2 full-day programs at the high school, we could probably shuffle some people. We don't need 2 arts and crafts people. We don't need 2 assistant directors up there. With the high fives here, we could just have. I'm trying to keep the high five staff here they go home when they 1 o'clock when they pack up. So those are coming in due the end of the month. Emily, Zoe, Brett, and John DeWall have all applied for the 4 top positions. So I'm recommending that they get offered the job this probably next week, because I'm actually meeting with all of them next week anyway. So they'll go over the list of staff. Brett, like I think I mentioned, Brett wants to be more involved with his staff. So him and Emily will go through the lists next week and sort of start picking out who to start interviewing. Other than that, also, based on the town report, that I sent to you guys, I talked to Tim about it's probably one of the best years we ever had in recreation history. If you look at, everything we did was beyond what we expected, from bringing back the fair to, I did make sure I mentioned the story about last January when we had that girl in the our first ever first aid class that saved her mom from choking a week later. So I made sure we put that in there. Obviously the summer program was huge. Extreme was big. The staffing was the most we ever had. $360,000 in wages that went out with what we did last year. The 2 kids doing the Eagle Scout projects and the National Honor Society projects. Basketball had the most kids ever, 283. Rise is doing very well right now. The rec center is getting, it's having its good days and not doing too bad. The race was obviously the finish for us this year and was the most ever. And I think the most interesting number was the the $950,000 was transacted. So it's our largest income year ever. Obviously, with the change with the playground fee a little bit helped a little bit. So that was the town report. And then I did throw out to you guys, every year when we submit our budget, which is just Jenny and I, they ask for the prior year accomplishments and our goals for next year. So Tim helped me with this too. So we just, I highlighted those things we just talked about. From the extreme registration to the Thanksgiving Day race, which is pretty much our start and finish of each year. And then our goals for next year, including having more capacity, reimagining our space here with the loss of the theater. Our online, one of the goals for the year was the online pre-registration for Extreme, and that went very well. The return of the health fair, that's our rec fair. And then also, I haven't here the start of the new extra week of playground if school ends on time. And everything else is pretty much we've had in a couple places here before. And obviously the completion of all the projects, the Milken Field shed, the Milken Field tennis, the pickleball, court trial here, the lacrosse wall. So that's included in our goals. So I think other than that, we're working on the schedule for playground. I think we're right now on the last day of school is June 14th. I don't know if that is all schools or just one. I asked Brett the other day, and he said after the cancellation on Monday that June 14th was the last one, but I don't know if the high school's later. I don't know if one school's later than the other, or I can find out. So we're still on track. Our goal is hopefully to finish, that we want school to finish before Juneteenth, because we would like to have staff training on the 20th and 21st. So we don't mind an extra day or two of snow days, but no more than two, because then we need to start rearranging our orientation a little bit, because we had 3 great days of training planned, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, before we start the 24th. And I think that most of we're waiting for this. We have a meeting on March 11th with the schools to hear the concerns about all the kids at the high school. And, depending on what we hear next week, I think, regarding Dare Hill and Osgood, I'm a little nervous that it happened so soon before registration, but, if enough of us go there, I think that it'll help.
What time is that meeting, Ted?
Has not been set yet. So I think we might want to wait till set a time. I mean, what's good for you guys? I mean, Tim and Allison and Julie, I mentioned this. I can't have more than 4 of you guys showing up, even though I'd like to have all you guys there. And it's probably during the day. Is there anything good for you guys on that day, or I can recommend?
In the morning, it's fine, whatever.
I think Tim, once Brian Joyce emails us with the school department, and they know they're going to do Osgood Dare Hill, then we should confirm the time then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or confirm the meeting if we need it or not.
Okay.
Right.
Ted, to answer your question, I'm free anytime that day.
Okay.
I'm open.
I'm sure they're going to want to do it in the morning, so. I think that's, let me see, what else is on the agenda? I got it in the minutes we'll do next while we're face to face. I do have to go through Tim's minutes and my minutes and my notes, and just because Katie.
That's what I was going to ask, because I see that on the agenda, but I didn't see I didn't see any.
I got to type up our combined notes, and we'll have I'll get next meeting.
Okay.
Summer play, that's pretty much the summer playground update too. We'll know more after that meeting. And I know Julie had a question about the fields. We did, I usually try to get the field matrix approved, but there are some conflicts, and there's also Steve Rotundi was about a week late getting me his schedule, which isn't bad for him. But it came in like just the day I sent the agenda. So I didn't want to do it without his stuff on there too, because it does play into a little bit the what time the youth lacrosse and soccer can start Monday through Friday.
No problem. So we'll talk about that at the March meeting.
Yeah, I mean, Tim and I will sit down with there are some conflicts with Jeremy and lacrosse, so Tim and I usually we'll go through that with those guys. Because what we usually do is just give you the matrix all done.
Yeah.
And prove it. So
I appreciate that.
okay.
If you're meeting with Dave, then I think my concerns will be addressed.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to be sure that things are evenly distributed at Milliken for soccer and lacrosse,
They have
because we do not have enough. And I've talked about this a few times. The regulation size fields, we don't have enough in town. There's 2 at Milliken, there's 1 at Alumni, and that's it.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of lacrosse players. So we just need to be cognizant, I think, as a commission, of making sure that everybody's needs are met or not met in equal amounts.
our matrix usually is 50-50. I talked to Chip about this a little bit, so it's a little bit more than it's actually lacrosse's request for more that we need to figure out, because it's always the regular schedule is 2 days of lacrosse at Milliken, 2 days of soccer. They
Yeah.
skip Friday, soccer has Saturday, lacrosse has Sunday. So a normal matrix that it was approved last year is just a skew right now because there's so much lacrosse request.
Mm.
So that's what we got to figure out. So it was evenly broken down. It is every year. We mix it up, and so.
Okay, good to know. I have a copy of last year's matrix, and I was looking it over today.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're proposing. I don't know what they're proposing for this year.
It's a lot.
I'm concerned about, like, when refs are filing complaints against our town and we can't play games because we're not being lacrosse isn't being put on fields that are permitted. That's embarrassing, I think, for our town. And I just want to make sure that doesn't happen again. If we can help it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest issue we have is with high school, because I know lacrosse asks for 3:30 every day, and we do not usually do that. It's always 5:30 because the high school baseball team, you can't be up there when the high school baseball team's playing.
Right.
Just saying, or they can only be on one field. And then there's JV lacrosse. That uses up. They don't use it often, but they will throw a JV lacrosse game in there. Sometimes not even telling us. That goes 4 to 6. Then we also have to be cognizant of a big tennis match, because that really fills up the parking lot plus that overview of the over the court.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of things we need to work out. And there's just no real guarantee until 6 o'clock sometimes
Yeah.
for anybody to get on that field.
So will the tennis courts be ready for this spring for big games, big matches, I should say?
The plan is for July,
Okay.
but they're gonna wait for the season to end. Hopefully, I mean, the courts are not in the greatest shape, but they probably won't be having too many big tournament games there.
Yeah, because I don't think the courts are in good enough shape to do that. So
No, God,
No
no.
way.
yeah.
So they'll start in July. So our summer program will be off this year. And then we've asked for the lacrosse wall to wait till September, just so we can get the summer program in here.
Yeah, smart.
I don't know what else is there, Tim, that I'm missing. The shed, the plumbing is in the shed.
Yeah, we're waiting on the last news on the shed was waiting on the plumber to finish.
They've done the connection, so now I think Bobby, the Barrows guy, has to put the floor back down and get everything. And then Michelle's ordered all the parts, so they should be in next month. So the goal is still April 1st. So, they had money. The soccer spent about $30,000 of their own money, and now he's prepared to spend more for the pieces, but he wants the school hopefully to take care of, well, not the school, the town to take care of whatever they were going to do, whatever's in their budget. What else do I have? Anything else, Tim, that you can think of? Or
What else do we have? No, just there's really no update yet. We're still waiting to hear from Michelle on Beechwood, both basketball and playground. Those are on the agenda for this spring/summer. So I assume that's still in in play.
Yeah.
So I think that covers all the projects we're involved in, I think.
We got two. I mean, they did outside here, they did put the black matting down on the playground, so it's all ADA compliant right now. It's a black. I mean, I'm not a big fan of. I mean, it's got the holes in it, so it shouldn't keep the heat too much. But they just did that last week, so the entire playground out here has the ADA compliant matting down. And then we have the Brooks Kennedy and his cousin Drew Gibson
True, yeah.
will start working on around the basketball court. That's a National Honor Society project where we had money set aside for landscaping. They're gonna, through Chris Kennedy, get turf around the basketball court, which gets very muddy, especially underneath underneath the benches. So they're gonna do that, and obviously they don't no timetable there because of the fact that they can do it during the winter. The only thing, Tim, I talked to the boys here like 2 weeks ago. The only thing I was concerned about was the turf with the low black beads. So just trying to. I don't think we need those. We don't want them because they would just end up all in the court. So
Yeah.
But they were going to check with Chris on that. So they should be doing that probably in April. Getting that done before the spring season starts. That way we're ready for our big basketball season.
For the summer, yeah.
Yep. I think that's all I have.
I mean, I think I'm looking at the agenda here. The only other thing we really have is just committee reports. And Derek's not here. John, you got anything on open space? Heard anything from them? John is careening off the road right now.
Yeah, close. No, but I kept it between the lines. Not a ton. I think probably we meet next week, and then there'll be a lot of updates on, Earth Day and EcoFest and some other stuff they're trying to kind of get prioritized. So not too much this week.
All right. Very good.
I forgot to mention the fair. So the fair is I've been meeting with Linda Fechner over in Hingham.
Yep.
Last 2 Saturday mornings, just going over her farmers market schedule. Michaela Bickerton, that's a regional public health nurse under Mary. She's running the segment for the Board of Health, and she's got some new stuff that she's had from other events she's been to. So there could be pretty impressive. We have so it only leaves us 30 tables, and I just did the math, and we're about 20 right now. And it's still, so if any of you guys need a table for anything, Tim, I didn't know if Michaela was reaching out to CERT directly with you, or I actually emailed her tonight to check on police, fire, CERT, if they're on to her or us. So
we may pass on that this year just because we've got 21 people now, and we could definitely use more, but it's what we're kind of focusing on for 2024 is getting the people we have involved in some training. Just once every 6 weeks or once a quarter, whatever it is, to just keep them engaged. And so I think we're probably going to pass on putting a table together. Glenn's been away, but I've talked to him a little bit about it. He has the final say, obviously, as a director. So we'll figure out soon what that's going to be. But I was of the mind, or we had talked about us passing. So I'll just confirm that with him.
Okay. And John, open space wise, those 2 events you have, you want to let me know if open space wants a table to promote everything you got coming out.
Yeah, that's a great call. I'll give you an answer right after our meeting next week.
We're working on a giveaway this year. I saw it listed for the water resources, well, not the human resources guy, the stickers that go on boats and kayaks. So I'm ordering, that's going to be one of our giveaways this year, is that the people don't have to write their names on them though. Laura Gibbons told me she's got a little stack and she tries to give them out, but nobody puts their name on the kayak sticker. So when there's a loose kayak in the harbor floating around, the sticker could be on the boat, but people forget to write their name on the sticker. So we're going to push that out at the rec fair. So. Okay.
All right. How about Safe Harbor, Allison? Anything there?
Ted probably has more than I do.
Right.
Working with Nicole to try to set up a day of with Extreme, kind of doing some mindfulness-based exercises. Did you hear back from her?
No, but so Nicole reached out about they do it for the high school, right? I think, Allison, like a day for the high school kids.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
So they asked us if they could do a day for Extreme. It was actually the kids' idea. And I did promote the week that we got 125 kids on Monday, August 5th. I told Nicole that's all hers. It's our busiest week, and they're just going to do. I sent them a list of. Actually, Julie, you sent me a list about a year or two ago about things to make Extreme funner on field days. So, I pushed that off to Nicole to be sort of a resource for ideas that the kids might do.
Oh, great. Thank you.
So, and then they have a budget, which is great to do. And then they'll probably use Linda Nathan a little bit. I know they've talked to Allison. So
Great.
they'll be at the fair. They're going to do a couple tables, I think 2 tables. So
Ted, remind me again, what's the date of the fair?
March 24. Easy to remember. So Sunday the 24th. Our registration will be at 4:30 this year. We did start the pre-registration 2 days ago for parents. I was hoping to do it back in January, but we're obviously had the school thing. So pre-registration has started for parents to do the registration form, the immunization records, and the photo. And we also sent out the blast last week for actually Sunday for all the waivers for Extreme. So that's going on right now.
Nice. All right. Julie, how about sidewalks?
We're continuing to meet every couple of weeks. We are moving our way through the different parts of town and putting together a list of priorities for paving and sidewalks, both new sidewalks and refurbishing what's there. If there are any particular parts of town that you haven't told me about yet that you'd like us to take a special look at, then just send me an email and let me know. And Ted, whenever you're ready, if there's something that you'd like me to bring, a topic that you'd like me to bring to the group, I'm happy to do it. It's on your schedule. There's no hurry.
Yeah, I think Tim and John, you guys are runners. So I was just talking, there's a couple of sidewalks, crosswalks that are in this town that could use like a really, Cohasset's got all the old school scout, no like flashing lights when someone gets to a crosswalk. Obviously down here, I love this Sawyer Street, Ripley Road, red, yellow, and green traffic sign's been here since I was a kid. Hasn't changed. It has a 1-minute delay to cross the road. So that's what I was talking to Julie about. Is just, if we're not going to be using the Osgood J. Hill this year, it'd be a nice opportunity to try to fix the sidewalk coming down the hill. So, and maybe fix the crosswalk. I also, I was thinking the one intersection, the two ones I think are the hardest is that one up going South Main Street towards Situate. When you get to the top of the hill, it's almost like a blind spot. But if you can think of other ones too.
Yeah, did you say on South Main Street?
Yeah, when you're coming up this, after you leave St. Anthony's and you're heading up South Main, right at the very tip there.
Yes, actually, we talked about it this past week.
Yeah, and there's also one down at the Situate-Cohasset line too that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 pet peeves, but other than this one out here. So,
Yep. There's a few trouble areas in town.
I mean, John and Tim might know some ones while in their running careers, that they're slightly dangerous. So.
So other than that, no updates, nothing exciting going on right now.
Excellent. All right. I think that incredibly, I think that covers it according to the agenda.
Yep. Yeah, I'll check with Derek about it. I know we asked Derek if you want to have a table for the harbor committee because they were doing that big survey. So I got to reach out to them.
Yeah. Where was that? I know he asked for our input. Like, he sent it to all of us, and if you wanted to weigh in on what you thought or what we individually thought about it. But I haven't heard any. I thought the goal was to get it out by the end of February, right? To take in everybody's input and kind of craft that survey by the end of February. Was that what it was?
Yeah, actually, you know what? This came in when I was in California, so I saw it Monday the 15th. He sent it to you guys and us. So there is if you want to check your email for that day, Monday, January 15th, it's
On January 15th. Yes.
8 a.m. He sent that to all of us. So
Yeah.
I missed it because I was away. But if you guys want to take a look at that,
Hey, Ted, Derek's here. You can promote him to
Oh.
panelist.
okay.
I just noticed in the chat that he said he was here, and I'm so sorry I didn't notice earlier, Derek. I just happened to click on it.
There he is. Yep. There we go.
But I did send Derek feedback on that survey. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Hey
Same.
guys, I'm live and in person. Sorry for being a little late.
Right on. No worries. And the best part of it is coming right to your spot. We were going to ask you where we stand on the Harbor Committee and the survey.
Yes, I caught that last bit there. The survey is pretty much cooked. I think they've addressed your contributions. Thank you all for chiming in, and the contributions from a lot of the other committees. And I think the goal is to have that out or start beginning to roll that out in the next few weeks here. So, and I also, Ted, I did bring up the idea of a table, and George came back and said, maybe, I don't know if it makes sense for us to split a table with somebody, and we may not necessarily need a whole one, or what your thoughts might be on the best approach there.
I mean, I haven't heard from Jack Buckley yet because he'd be a good person to be next to you. He was pushing a survey. I don't know if you remember, you guys were there when Jack was walking down the hall pushing a survey, a QR code. So I did actually message him today. So I mean, he should be there. And then I got Oscar from the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. They reached out to them today. So there is a water corner, we call it, in the gymnasium. So people like the sailing club commits, they could be there. So we could actually do a little table like that. So.
Okay, I'll bring that back. Our meeting, we were supposed to meet this morning actually and tour the project on the harbor front, but that got postponed for obvious reasons. Although it wasn't quite the storm I think we thought it was going to be. Yeah, I'll bring that up, and I think just basically count on us in some capacity from the Harbor Committee, there being some representation there to push the QR code or push the survey out and get as many people to respond as possible and provide as much input as possible.
Do you want to, is that QR code? Jenna's working on the spring brochure. I mean, I know, when is your deadline? This will probably go out a few days after the rec fair.
Okay.
Is that too
late?
Like,
I guess the question is, what is your deadline to go to print? If we were to commit to that.
It should be like mid-March.
Okay. I think that should be plenty of time. Again, I'll go back to the group with that.
Yep.
But I think it'd be valuable to have it in the in that publication as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's it. Do you have any questions for us, Derek, from projects?
I don't. And again, thanks for everyone chiming in when they did, and I think it'll just be on us as a group here to I'm sure that Ted, you've got a big distribution list, and like you said, each of the committees probably do their own distribution of the survey as opposed to sending their mailing lists over to the committee.
Do you guys have a deadline for the survey results when you want them by?
I think the plan is to let the results kind of run for a few months, or let the survey run for a few months, again, to get as much input as possible. It's really just to help guide the prioritization of what that Harbor Committee is advising on to the Board of Selectmen.
Speaking about the rec fair again, Derek, I stopped by the Fresh Quench, stopped by Bobo Tea, stopped by the golf place next to Stop and Shop, the new gym next to UPS, and realized after going through all these places, they're all looking for help. So I did tell them I'm pushing them to get to the rec fair, told them to pay whatever they want because they're all sort of nonprofits right now. They're not, because the Boba Tea guy was asking me how to get more. I don't know if you guys know where it is behind Chops, but he was a really nice guy. It's tough for them and Quench to actually bring product up there. But I said, it's just worth it for them to get there and get their face out there. And there's almost, we got to do a little publicity stunt where we're talking about this as a job fair for the high school kids too, because everybody's looking. And all those places, even the golf place on 3A had to sign up for help wanted. So
I was just going to say, have you talked to Golf Tavern about having them there as well? But
I did. I stopped there yesterday.
How's it looking there?
It's okay. I mean, I think
they need the help.
yes, I talked to the owner was there when one of the owners was there. But I think everybody is. So we're gonna try to aim our publicity towards like this being a job fair too. So I actually sent that message out to Sailing Swim Center of the Beach, saying that we're gonna make this a job fair too, to try to get them to come along also. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll go ahead.
I was just going to say all of these establishments, I think at a minimum it's a good opportunity. They all seem to have like a punch card, buy 10 get one free. Hand out their punch cards and just promote themselves.
Yeah, I talked to that. That's what I was talking to with Boba T is going to do like a route. He was asking for suggestions of how to. I said just have a little box and have everybody sign their name and get a free Boba Tea or free, the golf. Same with the golf place. So I didn't realize that the new gym next to UPS used to be Fitness Together. So she used to come to our fair beforehand. I can't pronounce the name of her place, but I have to look at the sign. I don't know if you guys have seen it. What are you going to do about it? I think it is, or some kind of variation of that. So.
Oh, I had no idea it stood for something. Thank you for
Yeah, what are you going to
telling
do?
us.
It's something very fat, one word. What are you going to do? I think it is.
Okay.
But she is the old owner of the Fitness Together.
Oh, great.
So.
All right. If nobody has anything else, I think that's going to do it.
So our next meeting is March 13th, I think it is.
March 13th. Yes.
So there'll be 2 days after we meet with the school. So we hopefully won't need any new votes.
Yeah. We'll have plenty of information anyways.
The one concern I have is them coming back and with a fee, custodial fees, and we just might have to revisit a surcharge on top of our playground program 11 days before camp starts registration. So that's all I have.
Okay.
Hopefully it goes well.
Yep. Excellent. All right, there we have it. 7:39. Let's call it. Thanks, everybody. Good to see everyone.
Yep.
In person on March 13th. Let's make that a pact.
Sounds good.
All right. See you guys.
Somebody's got a motion to adjourn, actually.
Oh, yeah. We need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Allison moved. Seconded by Julie.
Okay.
All those in favor, hang up.
Bye, guys. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.